Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a new addition to the Jack of all trades collection. This is called Wild Joker, and it's this fun multi-die set, and I'm going to use this die to make a Court Jester card. Now, I'm only going to use black and white cardstock, and I have a bunch of my pieces already die cut. To keep everything organized, I made myself little notes to know exactly how I wanted to ink them. Now, I thought because we're doing a Court Jester theme here, it would be fun to use my favorite interference pads in order to color these pieces, which is why I'm using just a combination of black and white here. Now, if you wanted to do a Joker, I think this would look fantastic with a combination of black, white, and red as well, and I plan to do that at some point, but I really wanted to have some fun with using this die set with some interference inks because it's going to create some fun shimmer, and it's just a fun, unique figure to create with. So first interference pad I'm using here is Teal Twist. This, as you can see on the screen, shows up teal on white, but what you probably can't see is on the black cardstock, we have more of a pinky purple color. So when you tilt this into the light, you see the teal right off, but you see a little bit of that pinky purple color as a shimmer on the teal, but you also see that on the black. Now I have some pieces for his body here, and I have them die cut out of white cardstock. I'm going to ink blend with some Hickory Smoke and black soot, and then I'm going to use a Regal gray interference pad. Now the Regal gray shows up as gray on white or light, and then it has a purple tone on the black or dark cardstock. So it's a really fun way to just have fun with your inks and play with them. I do this a lot where I do some ink blending with either gray or black, or a combination of the two like I'm doing here, and then use my interference inks on it because I love playing around with the properties that you get from using different backgrounds to it. These inks are just so fun to play with, and the dye property of that ink is transparent, whereas the interference property is not. So you see on the light or white cardstock the dye part of the ink, but you can still see that interference part when you tilt it into the light. On the dark, you see that interference part. So that's why you don't see the teal on the black, because the teal part of the ink is transparent and it goes all the way through with the Teal Twist pad. With the Regal gray, you see that gray, but you see the purple when you tilt it in the light or on the black. So now I have all of my pieces ink blended, and I just use my sticky mat to ink blend them. I find that it's really easy to die cut these pieces first, stick them to that sticky mat, and then assemble them all together. If you wanted, another option would be to assemble the whole figure and then choose one color to ink blend on top. But this way we can do multiple different pads. Now, just like the regular or all the other Spellbinders dies, when you do your die cutting, it leaves an impression where the pieces on top fit. So it makes it really easy to know which piece goes where. Now, like I said before, this is an add-on to the Jack of all trades collection. I did a video when that collection came out, and I'll link that at the end of this video. That one's a really fun one to play with. It's got a card feel to it, a card theme, a playing card theme, which is why this Wild Joker fits in perfectly with it. But I also have fun with it and create some unique and unconventional things with that one as well. Like for the playing card figures, I created a Wicked card because I thought it would be a fun way to play on that. So just because it's got a playing card feel to it doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. Now, when you're die cutting these pieces, a lot of these pieces get die cut at the same time, so they'll stripe down the pants. You die cut both of them at the same time, and I realized as I was trying to put them together that I had grabbed one of the wrong ones, so I just took the opposite one, grabbed it, quickly inked it on my glass mat, and then carried on. And you can see as I am putting these pieces together, there doesn't seem to necessarily be a rhyme or a reason as to which pieces I put together. I'm just trying to put a couple layers together, put them under my acrylic block, and then put a couple other layers together. And eventually we're going to have a full figure, but I want to put the individual pieces together first, have that glue dry before I go and put all of the rest of the figure together, shall we say. So you can see how easy it is to put together. I do have the front of the die package towards my left side so I can look at that if there's ever a piece that I'm not exactly sure where it goes. But it was really easy and fairly intuitive to know which piece goes where. They fit on top of each other really, really easily and really nicely. I also love to use a liquid glue, and I use Fairly Art glue, and I have it in a fine line bottle. And I find that it does make it really easy to assemble things like this because you have a little bit of wiggle room before that glue starts to hold. Now the glue does start to hold probably after like 10-ish seconds or so you don't have to wait a long time for it. Now here is where I made a mistake. I got my legs mixed up as to which one was which on the card package. So I put the wrong shoe onto the wrong leg. You're never going to know. And the only reason you know that is because I told you that. Chances are, if I hadn't told you, you would have no idea. It's not really going to make a difference for the figure anyways, because he doesn't really stand on his toes in a certain way. He kind of stands on his tiptoes anyways. So I do have a few pieces that I left black and I left white so I have the piece for his face, the piece to go right under his eyes for his pupils. There's also white gloves for him, as well as his shoes are black, and the little staff, the little stick that whatever the thing is he's holding is also black. So I wanted to play around with the black and white cardstock underneath the colors, but I also wanted to have some areas that were left black and white. And like I said before, I think this guy would look fantastic in pretty much any color scheme, but I also think red, white, and black would look amazing. Now I am going to bring in a few pieces from that Jack of All Trades collection. I'm going to bring in the sentiments, which is called Shuffling Sentiments, because this is a court jester. There's one sentiment that says, "Let the games begin," and I thought that would be perfect for this figure and for the card that I'm creating. And I'm also bringing in the Deluxe deck BetterPress. So this is a background plate, and I just thought it would make a really interesting and unique background for him. So I'm using that as a background. On the front of the card, or on the front of the packaging, they simply have some ink splatter on the background for them, and I think that looks fantastic as well. So you can get really fun with whatever background you use. The only thing that I would suggest is maybe not going too wild with colors for the background, because you definitely want to be able to see this guy in front of it. So when I do my background, I'm going to stick with some gray tones so that it coordinates perfectly with the colors of him, but it doesn't compete with him. So here is the finished figure, and look, when you tilt it into the light, you can see that interference, that shimmer, and it looks fantastic. So for my background, I'm just using a piece of Hammer Mill cardstock. This is that Deluxe Deck BetterPress plate. It's just a little bit smaller than a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock. So we're going to have a little bit of white space around it. I do tape the corners of that cardstock on my clear plate. One of the corners is taped just a little bit too much in. It cuts off a little bit of that BetterPress background pattern, but you wouldn't necessarily see it. It doesn't really affect the final result. So the first color I'm using on that background plate is the Lost Shadow Distress Pad. It's a really light pale gray. I was hoping to get a complete pressing or a completely even amount of ink for that first pressing, but you can see as soon as I lift it up, it's definitely not a clear impression. So I ink that once again, run it through, making sure that I have ink on those areas that were lighter. It doesn't necessarily need to be perfection, because once again, my focus is on that jester on the front of the card. The background it's just a background. For the outside part of this plate, I'm using that Hickory smoke. That's one of the colors that I use to do some ink blending on those pieces. I'm just doing it around the outside of the plate, and then I'm using an ink blending brush to buff that so I don't have any harsh lines, so that it kind of transitions from that Hickory smoke to the Lost Shadow. I'm going to repeat that process just to deepen that, and this way I'm going to get some darker color towards the outside and lighter color towards the inside, kind of similar to if we had a solid piece of cardstock and doing some ink blending around it. I just wanted to frame it a little bit, but once again, I didn't want anything that was going to compete with the interference colors on the jester or the Joker himself. At one point I was thinking about using an interference pad on that background, but then I just thought he would blend into that background. So by using the Distress ink, it just has a completely different finish, and it has a nice background, but it doesn't compete with him. So the Shuffling Sentiments is also a BetterPress plate set. It also has a die set to create a banner, and I will be using that die to cut out that background. I'm using my Hickory smoke pad to ink that sentiment, and then I'm going to put it through my Platinum 6 machine. So I am only doing one press with this, and it gets a clear enough sentiment there. If you wanted, you could do it a second time. You just need to make sure that that sentiment doesn't accidentally move in any way, or else you're not going to get it pressed in the same spot. So when I use the die set that goes in that Shuffling Sentiment set, I do tape it in place over that sentiment to make sure that it's not going to move on me, to make sure that it stays in place. And then there's two little tail pieces. Now this banner piece is a little bit more unique than some of the other ones that I've used. I've never used one like this. The tail pieces fold to connect with the banner part. So when you go and put it on the front of your card, it almost pops up a little bit. It gives it a little bit of natural dimension, and it looks fantastic. So I'm going to take that tail piece, I'm going to fold over that tab and then put a little bit of that liquid glue, and then use some sewing clips. These I use regularly when I want something to glue together, but I don't necessarily want to sit there holding it together. I will use these sewing clips. They can clip in place and just hold everything while that glue is setting. It comes in so handy. I often use these with my stitching dies, but it comes in handy for this as well. So I don't have to sit there holding this, waiting for that glue to set. I can work on something else. So I take my guillotine trimmer here and I'm trimming around that background. Now I want to have just a tiny little bit of white around that edge. I don't necessarily want to go all the way to that pressed background. If you want to, you absolutely could, but I was more wanting just a little bit of a matte around it, or a little bit of white around it. Once I have that background done, and what I typically will do when I'm doing something like this is I will do that first trim a little bit wider than I really want it to, and then I will just inch or just move it in a little bit so that I get the amount that I want around it. Then I'm taking some detail scissors and just curving those corners. If you have a corner rounder, you could also use that as well. I have one, but I didn't want to go grab it. And for just those 4 corners, it was easy enough to grab my detail scissors and just trim that. Then I'm taking that same Barely Art glue and gluing this onto a white card base, and then I can glue my Court Jester on there. Now, because I have this Court Jester already put together, I can easily position it exactly where I want it to go on that card base. I prefer doing it this way for something like this rather than start to assemble it right on that background. If it's assembled right on that background, there's a chance you might have it a little bit too high, a little bit too low, to the left, to the right. This way you can position it exactly where you want. Then I put on that sentiment, and I only put glue on the outside parts of those tabs so that inside part isn't glued down. So like I said before, it's going to just pop up a little bit because of that fold. For a little bit of extra texture, as if there wasn't enough, I'm adding a little bit of Glossy Accents to the inside of the Jester's eyes. And then I'm using some Silver Nuvo drops on the little dots or the little pom-poms or whatever on his hat, on his collar. There's something that goes from his waist on there, and then on his shoes. This is another thing that you could leave off if you want, but I just think it adds that little bit of extra texture. And to me, these are the things that take it to the next level and really finish a card off. So here is the final result. So I love the difference in texture between that Court Jester and the background. You still get some really interesting texture in that background because of the Deluxe deck plate, but because it's not the same interference ink, you get that interference from the Court Jester, and then that sentiment, it just works perfectly with them. This is just a fun, unique card, as well as the rest of the Jack of All Trade collection. They're just fun and unique ones to play with, and this one was just so much fun to create. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate all the time that you spend with me. I hope you have a fantastic day.